Weekdays 7 News with Peter Mitchell.
Good evening. Secret hotel room meetings and dodgy dealings have been exposed in a bombshell anti-corruption investigation into former Premier Daniel Andrews and a militant firefighters union. The new Premier admits his former colleagues acted intolerably, although the investigation failed to find any evidence of corruption.
Peter Marshall secretly fought in court to stop the release of Operation Richmond.
A witch hunt looking for a finding that just simply wasn't there.
Today, finally, 7 years after it began, IBAC's report was released into secret negotiations between the state government, including then Premier Daniel Andrews, and the United Firefighters Union boss to settle their 2016 EBA. No findings of corruption or blackmail, but it found serious and concerning conduct by senior public officers, including ministers, members of parliament and public servants. They are Daniel Andrews, Minister Gavin Jennings and Tony Bates from the Department of Premier and Cabinet. Their actions were contrary to government policy, procedures, convention and their respective codes of conduct.
By undertaking this backroom deal, Mr Marshall was able to use this deal as leverage to extract concessions, gain privileged access to ministers and exert extraordinary influence over the government under the threat of industrial action and public exposure of the deal.
Negotiations in hotel rooms were kept from Cabinet, including the responsible minister, Jane Garrett. Asked about excluding her, Mr Andrews told investigators she could play no useful role in resolving this matter. She later quit when she found out.
This is poor behaviour. It is intolerable. I will take action.
Did Daniel Andrews explain why he brokered this backroom deal?
There was an urgency to get this done.
Have I breached the law? No. Have I ever been convicted for doing so? No. Have I been found of corruption? No.
They certainly didn't find that you were an angel.
I've never said I was an angel.
He called it this morning a witch hunt. You say?
Absolutely not.
The opposition with their own findings.
Corruption goes to the very core of this government.
The Operation Richmond report puts more pressure on the state government to speed up its promised changes to IBAC's powers and its definition of corruption. If those reforms had been in place for this investigation, the outcome may have been very different. IBAC's been pushing for some of the changes for a decade. Asked if that was frustrating.
It is what it is.
Should there be fallout for Daniel Andrews out of the behaviour that you've exposed?
Our job is to report on the outcomes. Our job is to expose the conduct.
Live now to Paul Dowsley at State Parliament, and Paul, Daniel Andrews has responded to the report.
But in a statement, Mitch, he doesn't acknowledge the adverse findings that he breached the government policies and the codes of conduct, instead focusing on that finding that there was no corruption. In that statement, he also said there is no evidence whatsoever to support the false and completely outrageous claims that I had been blackmailed. Daniel Andrews calls them baseless. He explains there was a spiteful and dysfunctional enterprise bargaining dispute which needed to be resolved. And in the past hour, we have heard from the family of former Minister who was responsible, Jane Garrett. She quit because of these secret backroom deals. She passed away in 2022. Her family says that they witnessed the enormous pressures she endured during the incredibly stressful time that she was Minister for Emergency Services. They wish she was here to see these findings. Mitch, Premier Ben Carroll said today that he will adopt and accept the 3 recommendations of IBAC's report.
Paul Dowsley at State Parliament, thank you.